Based on the historical data and forecast, Bitcoin demonstrates an overall upward trend, consistently testing and breaking through resistance levels. The RSI fluctuates between 52.5 and 67.5, indicating periods of both buying and selling pressure, but generally remains above the oversold level of 20. The Bollinger Bands show price volatility, with the price frequently touching or exceeding the upper band, suggesting potential for further upward movement. Considering these factors, I propose a long-term bullish strategy with periodic entries. I recommend entering a long position at $77,700, placing a stop-loss order at $76,300 to mitigate potential downside risk, and setting a target price of $80,700 to capture a significant portion of the forecasted upward movement. To optimize the portfolio, I suggest implementing a dynamic RSI-based strategy combined with Bollinger Bands confirmation. When the RSI falls below 30, indicating an oversold condition, and the price touches the lower Bollinger Band, enter a long position at $73,000. Place a stop-loss at $71,600 and target $78,200. Conversely, when the RSI exceeds 75, indicating an overbought condition, and the price touches the upper Bollinger Band, consider taking profits or reducing exposure. This blended approach aims to capitalize on both momentum and volatility, adjusting positions based on real-time market signals to maximize returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, Ethereum shows a fluctuating trend with support around $2,280 and resistance around $2,370. Considering the RSI readings, which have mostly stayed between 52.6 and 64.6, we are not seeing strong overbought or oversold conditions. However, the forecast for the next week indicates a potential upward movement, starting at $2,360 and gradually decreasing to $2,350. We will implement a combined strategy utilizing RSI and Bollinger Bands to capitalize on this potential upward trend. Our strategy will focus on short-term trades. We will enter a long position when the price touches the lower Bollinger Band, indicating a potential oversold condition. Specifically, we will enter a long position at $2,310, placing a stop-loss order at $2,280 to limit potential losses. The target price will be set at $2,380, based on the resistance level and the forecast price. If the RSI falls below 20, we will consider entering a long position at $2,350 with a stop-loss at $2,310 and a target price of $2,400. This combined approach should provide a balance between risk and reward, aiming for high returns while managing potential downsides. Based on the historical data and forecast, XRP shows a generally upward trend with periods of consolidation. The RSI consistently fluctuates around the 50 mark, indicating neither strong overbought nor oversold conditions. The Bollinger Bands have been widening recently, suggesting increased volatility and potential for price movement. Given the support at $1.39 and resistance at $1.54, and the forecast predicting prices around $1.45 to $1.48, I recommend a long position strategy. We will utilize a combined approach of RSI and Bollinger Bands to maximize potential returns. Specifically, I suggest entering a long position at $1.43. The stop-loss should be set just below the support level at $1.38 to protect against a sudden downturn. The initial target price will be the resistance level at $1.54, aiming for a significant profit. If the price breaks through the resistance, we can move the stop-loss to the entry price of $1.43 and set a new target price at $1.60. This strategy combines trend analysis, support and resistance levels, and technical indicators for a balanced approach, maximizing potential returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, BNB shows a slight upward trend with price fluctuations. The RSI consistently remains below 60, indicating that the asset is not overbought. The Bollinger Bands suggest periods of volatility, with prices occasionally touching the upper or lower bands. Considering these factors, I propose a long position strategy. Entry price should be $633, coinciding with the first day of the forecast period and a relatively low price within the recent trend. The stop loss should be set at $626, aligning with the established support level to limit potential losses. The initial target price is $646, which is the forecast price on April 27, 2026, and also the top of the Bollinger Bands. To refine this strategy, we will incorporate RSI signals. If the RSI drops below 20, indicating an oversold condition, we can enter a long position at $633 with a stop loss at $626. If the RSI reaches 80, indicating an overbought condition, we can take profits at $646. If the price touches the upper Bollinger Band, we should consider taking profits at $646. The most efficient portfolio will be a combination of these three strategies, prioritizing the long position based on the upward trend and incorporating RSI and Bollinger Band signals for precise entry and exit points. Based on the historical data and forecast, Solana exhibits a generally upward trend, consistently bouncing off the support price of $83.4. The RSI fluctuates around 50, indicating neither strong overbought nor oversold conditions. The Bollinger Bands have been widening recently, suggesting increased volatility and potential for price swings. Given this analysis, I propose a long position strategy with a focus on capitalizing on upward momentum while managing risk effectively. Specifically, I recommend entering a long position at $85.2. The stop loss should be set at $83.4, just below the established support level, to protect against potential downside. The initial target price is $87.1, aligning with the forecast price for April 30, 2026. If the price reaches $87.1, consider moving the stop loss to break even to secure profits and potentially ride further upward momentum. The RSI readings have not reached the oversold level of 20, so we should focus on the upward trend and forecast data. This strategy combines technical indicators and price action analysis to maximize returns while minimizing risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, TRON demonstrates a slight upward trend, consistently testing the resistance level of $0.333. The RSI fluctuates above 60, indicating that the asset is not significantly overbought or oversold. The Bollinger Bands show that the price has been trending within a relatively narrow range, with occasional touches of the upper band. Considering these factors, I propose a long position strategy with an entry price of $0.33, coinciding with the forecast price on April 24, 2026. The stop loss should be set slightly below the support level at $0.328 to protect against potential downside risks. The initial target price is $0.333, aiming to capture the resistance level. To refine this strategy, I will incorporate the RSI and Bollinger Band signals. If the RSI dips below 30, indicating an oversold condition, a long position can be initiated at that price with a stop loss at $0.32 and a target price of $0.335. Conversely, if the price touches the lower Bollinger Band, it suggests a potential buying opportunity. If the price touches the upper Bollinger Band, it suggests a potential selling opportunity. The final portfolio will prioritize the long position at $0.33 with a stop loss at $0.328 and a target price of $0.333, as it aligns with the forecast and current trend. Based on the historical data and forecast, Dogecoin shows a slight upward trend. The price has been fluctuating within a range, with support around $0.0952 and resistance around $0.103. The RSI indicates that the asset is currently not oversold or overbought, hovering around the 50 mark. The Bollinger Bands have been narrowing recently, suggesting a period of consolidation, but the forecast indicates a potential breakout towards $0.1. Therefore, I recommend a moderately bullish strategy focusing on capitalizing on the potential upward momentum. I propose a strategy combining RSI and Bollinger Bands for optimal returns. We will enter a long position when the price touches the lower Bollinger Band and the RSI falls below 30, indicating an oversold condition. Considering the recent price action, let's set an entry price of $0.0895. Our stop loss should be placed just below the lower Bollinger Band at $0.088 to limit potential losses. The target price will be set at $0.1, aligning with the forecast and the resistance level. This strategy balances risk and reward, aiming for a significant profit while protecting against downside risk. This portfolio has the most efficient strategy. Based on the historical data and forecast, Cardano shows a sideways trend with fluctuations between the support price of $0.242 and the resistance price of $0.26. The RSI values have been hovering around the mid-range, indicating neither strong overbought nor oversold conditions. The Bollinger Bands have been relatively stable, suggesting low volatility. Considering these factors, I propose a neutral to slightly bullish strategy utilizing a combination of RSI and Bollinger Band signals. Specifically, we will implement a strategy that focuses on capitalizing on short-term price movements within the established range. Our strategy will involve entering long positions when the price touches the support level of $0.242 and the RSI dips below 30, indicating an oversold condition. The entry price will be $0.242. To manage risk, we will set a stop loss just below the support level at $0.238. Our target price will be the resistance level of $0.26, aiming for a profit of $1.8 per Cardano. Conversely, if the price approaches the upper Bollinger Band and the RSI exceeds 70, signaling an overbought condition, we will consider a short position with an entry price of $0.263, a stop loss at $0.266, and a target price of $0.25. This combined strategy, focusing on range-bound trading, should provide consistent, albeit moderate, returns while mitigating risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, Bitcoin Cash shows a generally upward trend, bouncing between support at $452 and resistance at $481. The RSI fluctuates between 35 and 55, indicating periods of both oversold and overbought conditions. The Bollinger Bands have been widening recently, suggesting increased volatility. Considering these factors, I propose a bullish strategy focusing on capitalizing on the upward momentum. I recommend entering a long position at $452, coinciding with the support level and a potential oversold signal if the RSI dips below 35. Set a stop loss at $443 to protect against potential downside reversals. The initial target price should be $460, aligning with the recent high, and a secondary target of $468 based on the forecast for April 30, 2026. To refine this strategy, we'll incorporate the Bollinger Bands. If the price breaks above the upper Bollinger Band, which has been around $464, it signals strong bullish momentum, prompting a move to the secondary target of $468. Conversely, if the price touches the lower Bollinger Band, around $424, it reinforces the stop loss at $443. This combined RSI and Bollinger Bands approach aims to maximize returns while managing risk effectively. The portfolio will be 60% long position, 20% stop loss, and 20% target price. Based on the historical data and forecast, Chainlink shows a slight upward trend with price fluctuations. The RSI values generally hover around the 50 mark, indicating neither strong overbought nor oversold conditions. However, the forecast suggests a potential upward movement, with prices expected to reach $9.61. We will implement a combined strategy utilizing RSI and Bollinger Bands to maximize potential returns. Our primary strategy will be a long position. We will enter a long position at $9.31. The stop loss will be set at $8.74, just below the established support level, to mitigate potential losses. The initial target price will be $9.61, aligning with the forecast high. If the price reaches the target, we will consider moving the stop loss to the break-even point to secure profits and potentially ride the trend further. This strategy balances risk and reward, capitalizing on the anticipated upward movement while protecting against downside risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, Injective shows an upward trend with fluctuating volatility. The RSI consistently stays above 50, indicating bullish momentum, although it occasionally dips below 60. The Bollinger Bands have been widening recently, suggesting increased volatility and potential for price swings. The forecast prices also point towards a continued upward trajectory, reaching $3.56. Considering these factors, I recommend a long position strategy focusing on capitalizing on the upward momentum. The entry price should be $3.39, coinciding with the start of the forecast period and a recent price point. The stop loss should be set at $3.35, just below the initial forecast price, to mitigate potential downside risk. The first target price should be $3.43, aligning with the subsequent forecast price. If the price reaches $3.43, consider moving the stop loss to the entry price $3.39 to secure profits and potentially ride further upward momentum. A second target price of $3.5 can be set for a more ambitious profit goal. Finally, if the price reaches $3.5, a final target price of $3.56 can be set to maximize profit. This strategy combines RSI, Bollinger Bands, and forecast data to create a dynamic and potentially high-return investment approach. Based on the historical data and forecast, Dash shows a downtrend, with the price declining from $45.9 to $36.6 over the past 2 weeks. The RSI indicates oversold conditions recently, but has been trending downward. The forecast predicts continued downward pressure, with prices fluctuating between $39.4 and $38.3. Considering these factors, I recommend a short selling strategy. We will enter a short position at $39.4, placing a stop loss at $39.8 to limit potential losses if the price unexpectedly reverses. Our target price will be $34.1, aligning with the established support level. This strategy aims to capitalize on the anticipated downtrend while mitigating risk with a conservative stop loss. To refine this strategy, we'll incorporate the Bollinger Bands. The price has been consistently near the upper band, suggesting a potential pullback. If the price reaches $38.3, we will enter a short position with a stop loss at $39 and a target price of $34.5. This adjusted entry price allows us to react to the immediate forecast while still benefiting from the overall downtrend. This portfolio combines both strategies, prioritizing the short selling strategy with adjusted entry and stop loss prices based on the Bollinger Bands to maximize returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, Ethena shows a clear upward trend, breaking through the resistance level of $0.12. The RSI indicates that the asset is approaching the overbought territory, currently at 56.1, but hasn't reached the 80 threshold yet. The Bollinger Bands are expanding, suggesting increased volatility and potential for further price movement. Considering the forecast prices, which consistently hover around $0.11, and the recent upward momentum, I recommend a long position. We'll enter a long position at $0.11, placing a stop-loss order at $0.106, just below the support level to mitigate potential losses. The target price will be $0.12, aiming to capitalize on the continued upward trend and recent breakout. To refine this strategy, we'll incorporate RSI signals. If the RSI drops below 20, oversold, we'll consider entering a long position, but given the current trend, this is less likely. If the RSI reaches 80, overbought, we'll consider taking profits or tightening our stop loss. The Bollinger Bands will act as a secondary confirmation. A close below the lower band suggests a potential short-term pullback, while a close above the upper band confirms the upward momentum. Combining these indicators, the portfolio will be 60% based on the upward trend, 30% based on RSI, and 10% based on the Bollinger Bands. This diversified approach aims to maximize returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, Kite shows a slight upward trend with periods of consolidation. The RSI consistently fluctuates around the 40 mark, indicating neither strong bullish nor bearish momentum. The Bollinger Bands have been narrowing recently, suggesting a potential breakout. Considering the support price of $0.134 and the resistance price of $0.194, I recommend a long position with a focus on capitalizing on a potential breakout. The entry price should be $0.137, placing the stop loss at $0.134 just below the established support level to limit potential losses. The initial target price should be $0.146, aligning with the recent resistance level and a reasonable profit target. To refine this strategy, I'll incorporate the RSI and Bollinger Band signals. When the RSI dips below 37, it indicates an oversold condition, suggesting a potential buying opportunity. Conversely, an RSI above 48 suggests an overbought condition, potentially signaling a pullback. If the price touches the bottom of the Bollinger Bands, it suggests an oversold condition and a potential entry point. If the price touches the top of the Bollinger Bands, it suggests an overbought condition and a potential exit point. Therefore, I will adjust the strategy. Entry price $0.134, stop loss $0.13, and target price $0.148. This strategy combines the support and resistance levels with the RSI and Bollinger Bands indicators to maximize profit potential while minimizing risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, FLOKI shows a clear upward trend. The price has been consistently moving higher, supported by the recent forecast prices exceeding the previous close prices. The RSI values have generally been increasing, indicating strengthening momentum, and recently crossed above 60, suggesting bullish sentiment. The Bollinger Bands have been widening, reflecting increased volatility, but the price has remained largely within the bands. Given these factors, I recommend a long position strategy. My strategy will be a combination of RSI and Bollinger Band signals. We will enter a long position when the RSI dips below 30, indicating an oversold condition, and the price touches the lower Bollinger Band. The entry price will be $0.0000332. The stop loss will be set just below the support level at $0.0000325, specifically at $0.0000324, to protect against unexpected downturns. The target price will be set at the resistance level of $0.0000552, aiming for a significant profit. This strategy combines the momentum indication from RSI and volatility confirmation from Bollinger Bands, providing a robust approach to capitalize on the current upward trend of FLOKI. Based on the historical data and forecast, Chiliz exhibits an overall upward trend, supported by consistently rising forecast prices. The RSI values have been fluctuating, but recently trended upwards, suggesting strengthening momentum. The Bollinger Bands have been widening, indicating increasing volatility and potential for price movement. Considering these factors, I recommend a long position strategy with a focus on capitalizing on the predicted upward trajectory. The entry price should be $0.0479, coinciding with the first forecast price. A stop loss should be set at $0.0443, just below the support level, to protect against unexpected downturns. The initial target price should be $0.0537, aligning with the forecast price on April 30, 2026. To refine this strategy, I propose a layered approach using RSI and Bollinger Bands. If the price reaches $0.0537, we can move the stop loss to break even to secure profits. If the RSI reaches 80, indicating overbought conditions, we should consider taking partial profits at $0.0551. Conversely, if the price touches the lower Bollinger Band, indicating an oversold condition, we should consider adding to the position. This dynamic approach allows us to adapt to market fluctuations and maximize potential returns while managing risk effectively. The final target price should be $0.0551. Based on the historical data and forecast, DeXe shows a strong upward trend. The price has consistently broken through resistance levels, and the forecast for the next week indicates continued upward momentum. The RSI consistently remained above 70, suggesting overbought conditions, but the price continued to rise, indicating strong bullish sentiment. The Bollinger Bands have been expanding, confirming the increasing volatility and potential for further price appreciation. Considering these factors, I recommend a long position strategy. My strategy involves entering a long position at $12.7. Given the recent price action and the forecast, a stop-loss order should be placed at $12.4, just below the established support level. The initial target price is set at $14.9, the recent resistance level. If the price reaches this target, we can consider moving the stop-loss to break even to protect profits and potentially ride further upward momentum. If the price continues to rise, the target price can be adjusted to $14.9. This strategy combines the momentum from the upward trend, the support and resistance levels, and the RSI and Bollinger Band signals to maximize potential returns while minimizing risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, Zcash has shown a declining trend from April 10, 2026, to April 23, 2026, with a recent bounce. The RSI is currently at 78.1, indicating an overbought condition. The Bollinger Bands show that the price is near the upper band, further suggesting a potential pullback. Considering the forecast for the next week, starting at $352, I propose a short position strategy. The entry price will be $352, with a stop loss set at $367 to protect against a potential upward breakout. The target price will be $343, aiming to capitalize on the anticipated downward correction. To refine this strategy, I will incorporate the RSI and Bollinger Band signals. When the RSI falls below 20, indicating an oversold condition, I will initiate a long position. Conversely, when the RSI reaches 80, signaling an overbought state, I will consider a short position. Furthermore, if the price touches the lower Bollinger Band, I will enter a long position, and if it touches the upper Bollinger Band, I will enter a short position. Combining these signals, I will prioritize the short position at $352, with a stop loss at $367 and a target price of $343. This portfolio combines the trend analysis, RSI signals, and Bollinger Bands to maximize potential returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, PYTH network shows a generally upward trend, with recent price fluctuations. The RSI values have been oscillating around the midpoint, indicating neither strong overbought nor oversold conditions, although we observed an RSI value of 65.0 on April 23, 2026, which suggests a slightly overbought condition. The Bollinger Bands have been widening, indicating increasing volatility. The forecast for the next week suggests a continued upward trajectory, with prices potentially reaching $0.055. Considering these factors, I recommend a long position strategy with an entry price of $0.0487, a stop loss price of $0.045, and a target price of $0.055. To implement this strategy, we will use a combination of RSI and Bollinger Band signals. We will enter a long position when the price is near the lower band and the RSI is below 30, and exit when the price reaches the upper band or the RSI exceeds 70. In this case, we enter the position at $0.0487, placing the stop loss order at $0.045 to protect against potential downside risks. The target price is set at $0.055, aiming to capitalize on the projected upward trend. This strategy balances risk and reward, aiming for high returns while mitigating potential losses. Based on the historical data and forecast, Terra Luna Classic shows a clear upward trend. The price has been consistently moving towards the resistance level of $0.0000613, and the forecast suggests continued growth. The RSI values have fluctuated between 52.8 and 72.4, indicating periods of both oversold and overbought conditions. Considering the current RSI of 72.4, the asset is approaching overbought territory. However, the upward trend and forecast prices justify a bullish strategy. Therefore, I recommend a long position with an entry price of $0.0000487 on April 24, 2026. A stop loss should be placed at $0.0000461, just above the support level, to limit potential losses. The target price is set at $0.0000553, aligning with the forecast price for April 30, 2026. To refine this strategy, we'll incorporate the Bollinger Bands. The price consistently staying above the upper band suggests a strong upward momentum, reinforcing our bullish outlook. Therefore, we will use a combination of RSI and Bollinger Bands. If the price breaks below the lower Bollinger Band, we will exit the position. The primary strategy will be the long position with the entry price of $0.0000487, a stop loss of $0.0000461, and a target price of $0.0000553. This portfolio combines the trend analysis, RSI signals, and Bollinger Band confirmation for a high probability, high return investment opportunity.